was like, I want to get out of the full-time job, and I'm going to have a good amount of capital coming into me once we go ahead and sell a lot of this portfolio off. So it was just like, I love golf right now, and it became a freaking obsession, which is, you can talk to anyone who's into golf and it just becomes like that. You get hooked. And
it's I don't think I've known anyone that hasn't gotten into it that
because it gets like obsessed, right?
Yeah, they get in the deep end quick.
You get into YouTube golf and everything else, you find people you like, and then you start trying different stuff. It's fun.
Welcome back to the Lead Lamp Podcast. This week we have Skyler from Capital Greens Golf. You're actually our new neighbor, pretty much, down the road.
No, we're not far at all.
Right here on Hartsdale Drive. You're opening soon. We're going to get into that story.
Yeah, so there's a small story there.
But yeah, give us a little bit of a background in your history in the area, what you've got going on, and then a little bit about the simulator.
Yeah, so just a little brief overview about myself. I grew up in Susquehanna Township, so over in the Harrisburg side, I was there pretty much my entire life, graduated from Susquehanna Township, and then I started a business with a colleague of mine that I went to school with. It was all real estate related. So we just did different forms of investment. Started off with like wholesaling and then fix and flips, built a rental portfolio. From there, went through, liquidated a lot of the portfolio, and I took a majority of that capital, and I had picked up a new passion of golf. So I wanted to enter some space where, it's more cash flow positive, a lot more active income stream. And then, so I was like, well, what can I do instead of like owning an actual golf course or being a professional golfer? I was like, well, if I just open a simulator in the area. So we only have a few that have been open. There's one over in Harrisburg, the whole way down Allentown Boulevard. Yeah. And then we have one on Simpson Ferry, which is actually really nice. I've been there once before. It's Next Shot Golf. Yeah. Not to call them out or anything. No. Good company, though. Go check them out. And I was like, they're really nice inside. They have really high-end equipment, too. But they're a little bit more pricey. I was like, so I feel like there's definitely a space that needs to be filled there. I was like, something that's still very nice, like clubhouse feel, kind of luxury, but also at a rate that people can afford. Right. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead and throw some money at this and see how it goes.
Nice.
So
now, when did you start? Like, you got the space. Yeah. Like, what was your first? So this is your first like brick and mortar location.
First brick and mortar. So like I said, I owned several rental properties in the past, but completely different. Obviously, I mean that's tenants that are in there, not my own personal.
Yeah, this one you're kind of hanging your sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for people to come in. So it's a completely different game.
The whole time that I was doing the real estate thing, I also had a full-time job, and me and my business partner, we were having differentiating opinions a little bit on where we wanted to continue forward. So at that point is when we decided to let's liquidate the portfolio. And then I was like, all right, so I'm not just going to sit around do nothing. Like obviously I could either continue with the real estate stuff because I am experienced in that. And if you guys have ever seen the Investors Unite podcast, I used to host that. Did a good amount of episodes there. But I was like, I can continue. I'm good with that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I knew that you can't make that a living. Like a good enough living unless you have at least 100 doors minimum.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a lot different than it does.
Yeah, like at my most, I owned 22 doors at one time, and even from that, it still felt like we were just living rent check to rent check. So, and I still had a full-time job during this, so I was like, I want to get out of the full-time job, and I'm gonna have a good amount of capital coming into me once we go ahead and sell a lot of this portfolio off. So it was just like, I love golf right now, and it became a freaking obsession, which is, you can talk to anyone who's into golf and it just becomes like that. You get hooked. And
I don't think I've known anyone that hasn't gotten into it that
it gets like obsessed, right?
Yeah, they get in the deep end quick.
You get into YouTube golf and everything else, you find people you like, and then you start trying different stuff. It's fun. But yeah, so from there I was like, I know a bunch of commercial realtors. Let me just give them a call, see if there's any spaces that would fit something like this, and really just see like what kind of budget I'd be looking at. I ended up linking up with this guy named Nick Martin, I believe, or Martin. Yeah, Nick Martin, I believe. I think he's with Remax. Not completely sure. Have to double check on that. Anyways, super cool guy. He's helped me out in the past with a bunch of real estate stuff. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, like, this is what I'm looking to do. I need roughly like
square footage.
Yeah, like 1,500 to like 2,000 square feet. I want to do like 3 bays in there. Just, let me know what's around there. He got back to me the same day. He sent me, I think, like 3 or 4 different properties, anywhere ranging from roughly, I think on the very low end, it was like $2,200 a month. And then on the high end, we were looking about like The most expensive was $12,000 a month, and I was like, all right, I'm not paying that.
Right. That's a lot of reservations.
That's a little ridiculous,
Yeah.
especially for my first brick and mortar. I was like, I'm not gonna go balls deep like that.
Yeah. That's
right. But
a lot of stress.
totally. So I ended up finding that location right over on Hartsdale Drive, and it's before I went through and completely settled on it, I talked to a lot of people in my space and just seeing like, hey, what do you think about this spot, this area? They're like, dude, you're in Camp Hill. It's right across from the Capital City Mall. You're directly connected to a Platinum Fitness. Like, I'm sure you can transfer a lot of those memberships that they have over to memberships for your facility. Like, it's probably a great opportunity.
Busy area, period.
Right, exactly.
Like,
there's a lot of drive-by traffic. And I mean, just in that little strip mall alone, you have like 30 businesses or something with people just walking by every day. So I was like, all right, like, let's make a move on it, right? So like, I'm not shy at all with numbers. So the lease itself, I believe, is a little over $2,300 a month, and then they have a cam on top of it, which includes like utilities and stuff like that. Which brings my total to like a little over $2,700 a month. So
not bad.
Not terrible.
Yeah.
No, and it's 1,910 square feet, I believe. So I was able to go ahead and build 2 public bays in there and then 1 membership only bay, which is kind of just like a bigger private room. The 2 public ones, I mean, it's just a wall that separates it. It was like a 10.5-foot tall wall.
Okay.
It spanned out about like 18 feet or something. I forget the exact dimensions, but so there's still a little separation, but you could see through to the other side too.
Gotcha.
So the goal was there to make the member bay a little more special,
right?
Make it a little more private,
a little quieter,
exactly. A little higher end, having like nice couch in there and big TV.
No, you're good. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys cuss on here at all?
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, big ass TV.
Yeah.
And on the wall, just make it a little bit nicer. And from there, I mean, I was like, all right, let me just see how much this would cost in total.
The whole fit out. Like,
the whole fit out. And so it is not cheap. It's not cheap by any means, right? And I planned on going cheap in the beginning. I was like, I can get some of these launch monitors, which is the system that will go ahead and track your ball and display the image over to the screen. Just like sends all the data points to it.
Right.
And like you can buy like a little at-home one for $1,200 to like $2,000. You get like a Garmin or like a Movito or whatever they call it, something like that. And then I did my reviews and like studies. I was like, if I'm building like an actual commercial business, like you can't just go cheap.
Well,
like
people are gonna, if you do it that way too, people are gonna feel like this is what I could get at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus a higher end one.
Right, exactly. So I was like, let's just go, and drop a check on this real quick. So I ended up going. If anyone's into golf or launch monitors, I went with a Unicore IXO2 launch monitor in each bay. So they run about $12,000 a piece. And then from there, I was going to do just a typical standard enclosure from like Carl's Place, if you guys are familiar. But I went over to, there's another simulator over in the Hershey area. It's called Woods and Irons. Their equipment itself, I'm not talking trash or anything, but is not the best. But I loved how they had, instead of the enclosures, they had the padding on the walls and the ceiling. It made it feel a lot cleaner and a lot bigger compared to, like, for example, the Harrisburg simulator, where they are just the little enclosures for the screens. So I was like, I'm going to actually do that instead. So I just kind of took like little pieces of all the simulators in the area, and I just tried to combine the best parts of all of them into turning it into the best one possible.
Nice.
Yeah. So
now you're trying to model it where you have obviously your public bays and your member area,
right?
Like member exclusive area.
Yeah. Is
obviously the goal then is to get recurring revenue, not just waiting on bookings.
Right. Exactly.
So are there other membership levels that these golf simulators have where it's like come and go as you please, or like a higher tier for these private rooms, or how's that work in that world?
Sure. I'll just start with the basics. So the pay by the hour, right? An average price you'll see for a simulator around the area will range anywhere from $40 an hour on the very low end, upwards to $85 an hour.
Okay.
So I was like, there's some room to play around there with. I ended up doing my public bays for, if you book 1 hour, it's $45 an hour.
Okay.
If you book anything more than 1 hour, so 2 or more, it's only $40 an hour. So kept it very reasonable. It's like, if you're paying for an actual round of golf, it's around the very same price.
Yeah.
For the members or the memberships, I have 4 different tiers. Not completely released or opened yet, or we'll get to that point in a second. But just for example, I'd have to bring up the actual numbers, but I'm gonna take my best guess at what they were. So we have a par membership that went for $149 a month. That is just for a single individual person. You can't bring any guests with you. we have like rental clubs and like drinks and snacks and everything included. And that's just for public base as well. That's for anyone who comes in. Just, you know, we have fridges that are stocked, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so you get the rental clubs and all that, and then you're allowed, I forget if it's 6 hours a month.
Okay.
Something like that, because 640 would be 240. So yeah, you're getting basically $90 off. So going with a par membership versus paying by the hour on a public bay. And then you also, you know, get the nicer room and stuff like that. From there, a next step up is the Birdie membership. That's where you're able to bring a guest with you. So you and your friend can come along. It's $249 a month. And for that, I believe you get 8 hours a month. Okay. Also, all the same benefits included. And then for the Eagle membership, so that's the third tier, that is $349 a month. You're allowed to bring up to 4 people with you, and you get, I believe, 10 or 12 hours a month. It might be 12, maybe 12 hours a month. So if you look at all the discounts, it ranges anywhere from like a 30% discount, 36% discount to like a 42% discount.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went off the lowest one real quick in my head, and I was like, oh wow, if you go the 6 hour month, par, was it par?
Yeah, par membership.
You're saving $15 an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Off your booking.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're somebody who you want to practice golf, and the nice thing about our facility is that it was 24/7 BYOB too. So if you work long days and you can't make it to the actual course, but you still want to get your practice in and get some rounds in, like it's a fantastic opportunity for you to go through. And the nice thing about a simulator versus like just being outside is you can really like dial in your swing. Like you can see all your metrics. You can go through.
That was my other question. Yeah. And we're going to bounce around from the business side to the golf side and like, I'm not a huge golf guy. I have a set of clubs. They're like a yard sale bag, but I go out like
all got to start somewhere.
Once or twice a year for like a scramble. I have fun with it though. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It can get very frustrating sometimes.
I got plenty of other hobbies, and I think my wife would kill me if I had like another.
Totally understandable.
But either way, what I wanted to get back to was like the accuracy of what it shows you.
Right.
Is it very similar to like what you're doing on course?
Oh, extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely similar. I mean, on course, you don't really have the idea of what your spin rate might be. You don't have like your attack angle. You don't have your smash factor. You don't know exactly what part of your face of your club you're hitting. I mean, you can have a rough idea.
And this is able to tell all those things.
It will tell you absolutely everything. It can tell you side spin, backspin. It can tell you your carry distance, your rollout distance, your ball speed.
And that's probably the difference between the equipment that you bought versus someone's at home. Like, now, the at home probably shows you some data, but not at the level of what yours can provide.
Exactly. I think whenever you go into my software, so I use the Unicore Axo 2 as the launch monitor, and the actual software that runs it is GS Pro.
Okay.
I believe there's 36 data points that you can check just through a single swing. So there's stuff I can't even remember.
And it's not using, is it a special ball or?
No. So that's the other nice thing. Like
bring your own equipment.
Some launch monitors require a special ball. With mine, you're capable of using pretty much any ball.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's super easy to function. Like I'm not even there when it was running. I just completely let it go. I would go there, set it up in the morning before anyone has it booked. They would come as they please. Go ahead, figure it all out, you know, get themselves set up, whether they want to just do practice, like a long drive or closer to the pin challenges. They got all kinds of different things. And then if they want to play an actual course, there's courses that get added on a daily basis pretty much. And I think currently we have 2,300 courses that are already on the software. And it's nice. I mean, I didn't take the time to go through and download all of them yet, but if you want to, like, you have a specific course. Like
I can find one.
Exactly. I had some guys from Missouri who were here visiting for, I forget, some job thing. I don't know. I forget what they're doing. But they had their home course, and they were like, I wonder if this is on there. Like, I highly doubt. They looked it up, and it was right there. They hit download. Within 30 seconds, it was fully downloaded, and they're able to go ahead and play.
Crazy. Yeah, the only thing you're missing then is, like, the elements. Exactly. You're not going to put a rain machine in, but...
No, exactly. So
rain and wind. You got to do that.
On the machine, you can program wind.
Yeah.
So it will go ahead and, like, if you want to really get that outdoor experience where you want to have... You know, like a 10-mile-per-hour wind gust blowing left to right the entire time.
You're just not feeling it.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just not feeling it. You can throw a fan on you if you want or something.
Hey, someone probably does it.
Probably. Back to the business side.
Yes, get on that.
There's one more membership as well. So the highest end membership is a corporate membership that I sell. So that is $467 a month. And that includes, you're allowed to bring up to, so typically I say like 2 managers and 6 clients at a time. Because typically, you know, like you're corporate, like it'd be like you and Joe bringing, you know,
a couple clients out.
A couple clients out. Yeah. But you can just bring anyone, like 8 people. And with that, I believe you get 14 hours a month with 8 people. Okay. But then every quarter, I also allow you to host a quarterly event. So you can go ahead, connect your laptop to your monitor. You can bring, I think I have it set up for like 20 to 25 people that will fit in that room comfortably. So if you want to host like a quarterly event, that's 4 hours you get every quarter. And then, yeah, I mean,
so someone could have like
there's catering that's provided, all that kind of stuff.
They could have like a meeting and then bust out into some golf later.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
So you can have a meeting
or just have an offsite day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of companies like real estate companies, car dealerships, you know, anything, honestly. People who love golf, you know, they can all meet there once a quarter and bring a boatload of their family, friends, whoever they want to bring, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they don't have to use it for a corporate meeting. They could use it
exactly. You can use it for whatever you want.
Get together too.
For $467 a month, like it's a killer deal now.
Yeah, especially if you have like a lot of larger businesses have a lot of people love golf and you know, they are hosting large meetings. They're always looking for just something different to do.
Exactly.
Like send them
like if you're having like a sale, like a lot of sales companies, like I know my stepdad previously worked for a company called United Rentals.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. And what they would always do is take their clients out golfing. That was like their number one thing. They would travel all over.
You can only do that like half the year though.
Right. Exactly. So it's only half the year. And if your day ends up being very rainy, your clients aren't going to be happy out there. You're over there trying to pitch them to rent this out machine. And then, yeah, I mean, it's raining on them. They're having a frustrating day. It's like, just bring them over to the golf simulator. You can do it for a lot cheaper. And then, yeah,
and they can do it in January. They can do now. Yeah. I'm imagining that we can get into opening and what's happening with that next. But just in general, I'm sure you've done your research, like the golf simulator business, like, and maybe I'm wrong, but like this time of year, you're just
slow season.
You're going to see a lot different of a business and foot traffic coming in.
Absolutely.
That's not to say that you're not going to get people that want to pop in on a lunch break, or they don't want to go out on a 98-degree day and they're going to you know, stay inside where it's cool. But you're probably picking up a lot more of that business from like, I'm roughly guessing like Halloween to Easter.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. So anytime that starts to get a little bit colder out, people don't really want to go on the course.
There's some diehards out there though.
Oh, there are. There's people who play in snow. I'm like, how are you finding a white ball?
They get that orange ball.
A pile of snow. Like, ridiculous, right? But no, you're exactly right. And that's kind of where the memberships come into play. So I also give a discount if you sign up for a full year ahead of time. So if you want to sign up for a full year ahead, I typically give, I forget, it was either 10 to 20% off depending on which membership it was. And at that point, I mean, I'm still getting that reoccurring revenue coming in, even through the slow season, such as what we're entering now. But I will say, even now, I still get calls on a daily basis asking if we're open or if there's times available. So I'm like, it would be the middle of the day. It's a nice day out. I'm like, I don't know why they would prefer to come here. Maybe they just want to get their actual numbers on their swing or try to just get something dialed in. Like that could always be the case. But I mean, it's exciting for me to at least know that we still have people who are interested during this time of the year.
Well, and here's my question is, and this is great because I'm not a big golf guy, so I'm just going to think of probably super obvious things, but it might answer some other people's
Makes it
questions.
Easy for me.
Right. So if I don't want to go play 9 or 18 holes, but I want to come in and work on some whatever, putting, work on different things. Like that to me would be more difficult to go to a golf course, go to a driving range, get out, get a bucket of balls, go on to do. Whereas I could just go in for an hour or two.
And like I said, like
I don't have to pick a course. Like I can pick just shots.
Yeah, totally. You can just go on a typical driving range. Like I said, there's a bunch of different challenges you can do where it's like closest to the pin challenge, hole-in-one challenge, like a bunch of different things. But if you just want to strictly practice and understand like what your swing's doing and trying to have a better idea of how it's going to translate to the actual outside world when you are ready for the course, it's the perfect opportunity to do that. Because like you said, I mean, if you go to a driving range such as there's Bumblebee on Lincolnstown Road, they don't have any launch monitors. If you go to the Liberty Forge driving range, they do have launch monitors, but they're not very accurate at all. Like this might sound like flaunting a little bit, but whenever I was hitting my driver there, like it was reading that I wouldn't go above like 250. I know personally from my own launch monitors, I'm hitting upwards of like 300 to 320 on a pretty consistent basis. And like even I actually just golfed today before I came here. I went over to Sunset Golf Course in Middletown, and I had one drive that went 360 and I had another one that ended around like 340. So I'm like, the 250 is just not accurate.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still cool to at least see like your shot shape and everything like that. But yeah, no, totally. So a lot of the main benefit of having the simulator and the launch monitor is you can actually really dial that in. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to just be taking your best guess at how far your clubs are going.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and then someone's not stuck, you know, with a longer commitment of time going to play 9 or 18 holes or, exactly. or in a longer thing.
And once if you're at a driving range, I mean, you're limited to how much you're willing to spend on a bucket of balls.
Right.
Where at the launch monitor or at the simulator, it's time. So if you want to pay for 1 hour, you can hit as many balls as you can in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Simulator can handle it. It can run 24/7. I made sure to go extremely high on all the equipment, such as like the PC. Like each one of those are like $4,200 a piece with 1 terabyte of data usage, and I forget like all the
they're
techno,
equipped. Yeah,
like CPUs and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember all of it,
yeah.
but
you're good. Yeah,
yeah.
But either way,
it's capable of running 24/7. I mean, it's very capable of handling just the golf simulator software, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, everything seems to be going pretty good so far.
Yeah. So let's get into.
You want to hear about
let's talk about that. So like, what's your plan? I know if people go to your website right now, it says
temporarily closed.
So what's your plan? What do we got rolling out? Like any kind of news and updates?
Sure. So I officially started renting the space back in March of last year, 2025. Yeah, I think. Yeah, right? I don't know.
Close enough.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And everything was going cool. So I went through, ordered all the equipment. I had my contractor that I used for a lot of my real estate rentals and flips. I had him come in there and put up pretty much everything that was necessary, which granted, he's been a contractor for, 20 plus years and certified GC. I've seen his license and everything like that. And he's worked on commercial and residential, right? So I felt as though I could fully trust this person. And I'm not going to call it his name.
Yeah,
but
we'll keep that.
Yeah, it's, that's behind the scenes. Anyways, everything was going good. He went through and did exactly what I had asked him to do. I spent a pretty penny on all the labor and materials, but it got to where it needed to be. And then I went through and kind of finished out the work. I went through and I built the ceiling because I decided to do the pads at the end instead of the enclosure. So I built the ceiling myself, all the platforms that we hit off of. I also didn't take into account that the screens would be about 5 inches short of the ground from where I had the ceiling, just because I did plan on doing the enclosure and not the pads, which would be a smaller space. So then I had to go through and build like these 5 to 6 inch platforms that you would stand on. But honestly, it added a really nice touch to the place. Like it felt a little bit more professional or nice. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And
it was an afterthought, but it ended up working out for the better.
Yeah. So then went through, I did, all the decorations and all that kind of stuff. So everything's going great. I had a soft opening on February 28th. I had a bunch of family and friends there and, just a bunch of golfing buddies who I knew or had ran into, from golf. And yeah, everything was fine. We had like 60, 70 people turn out that day. Everyone was telling their friends, like things are going good. And then shortly after that, we had people who would just come in, on a daily basis, like just come check it out, play around for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Macy, girlfriend, amazing person, she's a social media wizard and went through, made a video about it on TikTok, and it went pretty viral. It got like 60 something thousand views. And from there, we were getting bookings like on a daily basis, like a good amount of them too. Like we were bringing in anywhere from $200 to about $500 a day on average. So I was like, this is great. Like this is, for a brand new business, I'm only been open for 2 weeks and like we're doing these kind of numbers. Like I'm gonna make rent pretty easy. This is awesome. It garnered so much attention that Lower Island Township wanted to come pay a visit. Right. So I wasn't there at the time, but I had security cameras and everything set up. And I actually had some clients in there. And the code enforcement officer, he, came on in and everything. And he was just looking around, and I get a call from the customer that I had at the time. And he was like, hey, Skyler, he was like, you got some guy in here like huffing and puffing. I was like, what are you talking about? Well, actually, no, let me start out. So he called me, he was like, we have a problem. Instantly my brain went to, oh no, he broke something.
Something broke.
Right.
Yeah.
He broke something. I was like, darn, like we'll see what it is. He was like, no, you have some guy in here huffing and puffing. I think he's from like Lower Island Township. I was like, okay. I didn't think twice about it. I was like, well, I don't know why you'd be huffing and puffing for. Like everything's perfectly fine. Yeah. So he left his business card there. The customer actually sent me a picture of the business card. He's like, just give him a call when you get the chance. It's like, all right, cool. So I called him immediately. He didn't answer. I left a voicemail. He ended up calling me back a couple hours later. And he was like, we gotta meet or something. I was like, okay, like, yeah, let me know whenever you're free. I'm more than willing to meet you down there. He was like, I'm hoping those were just your friends that were there. I was like, yeah, we can go with that. I don't know why you're hoping that's the case, but sure, we'll go with that. And so I go down, I believe the following day. I met with him at like 1 p.m. And it's funny, I actually had some customers there before he came in that morning. I was like, you guys got to get out. Like, I don't know if you're allowed to be here. I might just completely ratting myself out right now.
That's all, yeah.
At this time, I was clueless. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I met with him there, and then I'm walking around like, hey, how you doing? You know, I have a positive attitude. And he was just like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? Running my business. Like,
yeah.
You know, first brick and
There's
mortar.
other golf simulators.
He was like,
yeah.
Do you not know like what permits are? I was like, of course I know what permits are. Like, what do you mean? He was like, did you build this space? I was like, I mean, I did some finishing touches at the end, but I didn't build it. I had my contractors go through and build it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your contractors never contacted our office one time. They didn't pull a single permit for this place. Like, all the electric that's in here. So turns out they ended up using a lot of residential materials. I'm guessing they probably had left over from previous flips they've done with me and stuff, instead of the actual commercial materials that they were supposed to use. So such as like the studs in the wall, they have to be metal studs. They use just 2x4 studs, wood. And then the wiring, they used Romex wiring, which is residential wiring where you have to have...
It'd been fine if you were flipping another house.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Totally fine. So I was like, okay, so what does this mean? Like, can I go through and just pay for the permits, get it re-inspected, and be good to go? He was like, no, you got to tear this place down to the ground. I was like, are you serious? Like, he was like, you're not open yet, are you? I was like, no. I had a soft opening, but
yeah.
He was like, yeah, you can't have a single customer in here. And granted, I still had like 30 bookings after this, right? So we finished up the meeting. Pretty much the way that had ended is tear the entire place down, resubmit a design, you know, and then once that gets approved, then I'll have to go through and re-pull all the permitting and find another contractor and have them all do it. Right? So granted, that cost me like, just from the time that I'm not making money with like the rent included, and also all the labor and materials, I'm like 25, 30 grand we're talking.
Yeah.
That's a complete loss.
Just from the first.
Yeah. Now I have to pay to go through and redo the whole second one. Right. So that happened. And I call up the contractor, right? The one who built it the first time. Because we're cool. I've been to his house many times. Like, he's helped me out with a lot of my properties. Like I've said, I've never had an issue like this before. I was like, so I told him, I was like, hey, like, I need you to stop by the sim real quick. He was like, okay, what's going on? I was just like, I'll tell you when you get here. Just like, come on by. So he showed up a couple hours later. I'm just like, dude, Lower Allen Township Codes Office just paid a visit, and you did this all legally. Like, you didn't pull a single permit. You didn't use the proper materials, the commercial grade materials that you know better. Like, you know you're supposed to use.
Yeah.
He was like, so what do you want me to do? I was like, probably fix your problem. Fix my problem. Fix the problem at hand. He was like, I'll get back to you in like a day or two. I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay. So he texted me, like 4 days later. He was like, all right, Skyler, this is what I can do. He was like, $7,500 for labor for us to tear it down and rebuild it. You're paying for all the materials. You're paying for all the permits. You're pulling all the permits yourself. And then like, I forget something else. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like,
yeah,
what are you talking about, dude? Like, you just totally screwed me over and completely went and
I'm going to pay twice now for...
Yeah, why am I paying you twice for a job that you messed up the first time, knowing that, like, we went through and discussed this. Like, you were supposed to pull permits. You were supposed to go through and make sure everything was up to code. And you just refused to do any of that, apparently, without my knowledge. Like, you never told me, hey, I didn't pull a permit for this or that or anything. And I was just completely oblivious to it. I thought everything was completely cool, and that's why I was like...
Yeah, I was going to say, so that's a setback, though.
Oh, that's a big setback.
Yeah, so you go through, now we're...
So now we have the place torn down to the ground.
Okay.
Everything on the inside, so... Me and Macy pretty much single-handedly, we went through and we took all the pads off the walls, took all the anchors out, took all the screens down, completely tore apart the platforms, take the PCs, the monitors, the shelves, all the decorations. We pretty much put it all, organized it to the side. And then from there, went through, tore down the walls. I am not an electrician by any means or plumber, but I was like, I'm not paying somebody to tear apart this. Like, I'm already running dry as is.
Right.
So I went through, figured out how to disconnect all the electrical, ripped it out from the breaker box, took out all the outlets. And then I also, the sink that we had in there wasn't ADA certified. I guess that's what you would call it. So I just had to go through, rip the sink out, but I had to disconnect the plumbing in order to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so as of now, that's kind of where we stand. I have a pile of 2x4s and drywall and wire just sitting in the corner there. So the next step is we're having a dumpster guy, a friend of ours, Jake, actually come stop by, load it up, get all the trash out of there. And then as soon as that's done, I'm going to reschedule an inspection with the township to come by. They can take a look, see that everything's completely done, get my design resubmitted and get that approved. And then from there, I can go ahead and start pulling permits and actually bring in contractors who will do it properly this time.
Well, and the nice thing about it is it's not like a space that has a lot of intricate, like your equipment is intricate as far as the computers.
But the actual infrastructure of it,
but it's pretty simple.
It's not bad.
Room and space and walls. Like it's not nothing structural. It's dividing walls.
It's dividing walls.
So thankfully, once all that,
and that's why I didn't think it would be that big of a deal to have it the way it was. Yeah. But I was like, I mean, no, don't argue with them.
But
they'll screw you over even more.
But at least we know, like the longest part is probably going to be going through, getting it re-inspected, getting it approved, and then studs and drywall can go up.
That can go up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and then also I think the longest part that'll probably be is just how fast they can push the permits through.
Right.
So I know they have a boatload of permits that are coming in from all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And they are known to take their time with a lot of that kind of stuff, which is why I thought the build out took a little while because the contractor was pulling the permits, but it turns out they were just not working. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I should have definitely, like, I do take full accountability for that. Like, I should have been checking all this stuff.
You learn.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is.
And you learned a little bit of electrical and plumbing with it too.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I learned demolition pretty well too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm still excited. Like, I know that it gave me a proof of concept, definitely, that there is a lot of money to be made here and it will work. Like I said, I still have people calling me pretty much on a daily basis about when's it going to reopen, what's going on. Yeah. So I know that there's a demand. There's a demand for it. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get it back up and running again. And I mean, the second time around, I can go through and do a little redesign here and there, make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah. I'm sure there's always something too when you looked at it, even when you were excited to open it the first time, where you're like, I could have moved this around, or I could have done that.
Absolutely. There's always a couple little things that you just think of.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, I have the opportunity to do it. Obviously, I wish that this wasn't the case and I could just fix those little things.
I think every person we've interviewed has had
some kind of setback.
On the business side has had a setback, whether like a lot of them were, and you probably graduated college post 2020. I don't want to talk about COVID.
I never graduated college.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I graduated high school in 2018, and then I went to California University for 1 year.
I was reading your bio. I just assumed you did.
No, you're all good. Yeah. You're all good. So yeah, I went for 1 year over there, and then ever since middle school, I knew what I wanted to do in terms of like real estate investing. So I was there for a year. I had
You're just like, I can do this.
I had a full ride, so I was like, might as well just go try it. My parents both really wanted me to. I went there and I was like, don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Like, it's time for me to go and actually start.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. But I wanted to take the opportunity and get the college experience.
Hey,
see what it was like. I got it.
Either way. Either way, it's neat that you were able to turn something that you were passionate about into a business.
Right.
Oh, setbacks. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, setbacks.
Like everyone I know, I opened a business in January of 2020, and they didn't realize like 2 months down the road, everything's just going to be a shitstorm and everything's closed, or just, people that have food trucks and then they don't realize, oh my God, food trucks are way more work than they seem. Like they seem cool when you're buying food, but they're not when you own them, apparently.
The behind the scenes,
but
like, a little rough.
So everyone I think has had a setback story within any of their businesses. That's part of owning a business.
And thankfully, I think the real estate companies really like calloused me for a setback like this in the golf industry. Just because like I've had so many setbacks in real estate.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure even buying properties, you're like,
oh my Lord,
I don't know what's behind the walls. But
I've had some crazy stories. Like, feel free to go check out the Investors Night podcast at some point. You'll hear some shit on there.
Yeah. I mean,
like one day I lost $165,000 in one day. Like, that was a rough one to eat. I lost two $35,000 deals back to back. Like,
yeah, just some
day
gut
after
punches.
Day. Yeah. Just like absolutely got screwed over. I was like, that was rough. Like that kind of stuff. Like you were like, okay.
So you can handle this. Like
Exactly. So this is kind of like, so I feel like somebody who would be first starting a business, it's like, this is a big deal. Like, maybe I just shouldn't even try anymore. Where for me, it's like, dude, I've been through the freaking ringer. Like,
yeah, well, and you know that you're doing it the right way now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Once you get through it, it's like
it'll be good to go.
Yeah, it's cruise control at that point. Well, I'm sure there's other things. There's going to be another.
There's always
bump,
stuff,
but
of course.
But either way, it's not a hurdle that's like passable. And the township isn't doing it because like they're trying to be mean to you, and you've dealt with it.
No, yeah, I completely understand. That's their job.
That's what they do.
Know? Yeah, I can't hate on them for what they're legally required to do.
Yeah.
Right. For the future, though, I mean, I'm excited for the golf business. Like doing all the calculations and seeing the actual upside potential of how much revenue one of these spots could generate, and then knowing how much cost goes into actually building one of these places. Like it's going to be very scalable. Like
it's like low. If I'm wrong, you can correct me, but it's a little bit of a capital investment up front. Yeah. But there's not a lot of overhead. Like you have some utilities, and you might have to have someone man it every now and then, as far as like
exactly.
A staff
just like
member.
A cleaner, that kind of stuff come in.
But like it's not like you have a fleet of vehicles, or you're not dealing with a large properties investments. You're doing real estate space and commercial rentals, and like it's low overhead. It's low startup.
And another way to look at it, like for anyone who's into real estate out there, like if you're buying a rental property, you're looking at ROI, your return on investment, and a solid rental property is, 10% to 14% ROI is like a pretty solid number to hit. Granted, mine did a lot better than that. Knock on wood, I got very lucky with all those deals that I kept. But either way, like a typical investor will look for is sometimes even down to like a 7 cap, 6 cap, like anything in that range. Where with the golf business, I am making my entire money back and then probably almost double within the first year. So it's 200% ROI compared to a real estate deal that I'm hoping to get 10% ROI.
Right.
So it's like it's so ridiculously scalable, and the amount of actual cash flow that you're bringing in is just it's unbeatable compared to owning an investment property.
Well, and it's a whole different game. One, you're in it for you're going to get into with the idea of sticking with it for 20, 30, whatever years, decades, with long-term rentals, clients as renters who
pay down that mortgage.
They're gonna sit on a property for 20 years. Like that's the ideal commercial real estate renter.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They sign a long-term lease. You're like, great, my building's filled for the next 2 decades.
Yeah,
that's a way different game than.
I feel like a lot of people have a very skewed opinion of like owning rentals, though. It's like, okay, I can own a couple of rental properties and retire, right?
Yeah,
it's
I can
like,
just kick back,
live financially free, and it's like, dude, you're in for a rude awakening. Like I've heard that from so many people who come up to me and like, you're doing so well. Like I want you to teach me like everything. Like I'm tired of working. It's like, you think you're tired of working? Like this is freaking work.
This is gonna be getting calls.
Just you wait.
2 a.m. because water heater's broken.
I ran through so many issues. Right?
Yeah. Well, you were doing residential.
Yeah, I did
which
residential.
Is way different than I was speaking commercial. So
I've done technically commercial. So if you go above 4 units, it's technically commercial.
Okay.
Which I've owned a couple of those as well. So either way, I've dealt with both sides of it, and it's an absolute hassle. But if you're looking for like, a good nest egg, like a retirement thing that you can just sit on, like don't expect it to just, you buy it and then leave it. Like that's not how it is.
Right.
But if you want to set up your future kids, or if you want to, like your job doesn't offer like a 401k or a pension or something like that, and you're just looking for, a lump sum of cash that you can have in 30 years, like your mortgage will be completely paid off at that point. Hopefully not by you.
Right.
Whatever tenants you have in there. And then you're able to sell that property and get a lump sum of cash when you're, 60 years old, 50 years old, however early you buy your rental properties, which is a great concept to have, but just don't expect to live off the cash flow of it. Right. So with owning the golf business, it's a completely different world where it's cash flow now and you're able to scale. Right. And then obviously owning a business, I mean, you're able to go ahead and then resell that too if you want it for a multiple of, whatever's reasonable for the EBITDA at that time.
Especially if it scales and
who
knows where it goes.
Yeah. So no, I mean, it's it's very exciting. So I'm still completely looking to do more real estate investment in the future.
Right.
Like if anyone knows a deal, please reach out to me. I'm more than willing to buy it. But yeah, as of now, like I'm very, balls to the walls with building the golf simulator business, getting it reconstructed, having everything ready to go, and then just scaling it from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how can people stay updated for when you're ready to relaunch?
Sure. So we do have a couple social media platforms. We have an Instagram. It's Capital Greens Golf. We have a TikTok page. Same thing. Facebook, same thing. And then also my girlfriend Macy over there in the corner, she actually posts on her own personal, and that's where the one video that got a lot of views came from. So she obviously cares a little bit about the business too, and she's very helpful there. So you could always check out, I think it's Macy or something. Yeah, is it TikTok? But yeah, I mean, and then also just check our website for updates. Obviously, I'll go through, and once we're open, I'll finally say reopened, right?
Yeah, you'll put your links back up.
Yeah, we'll put the links back up. We'll be good. You can go ahead and start booking again.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that's pretty much about it.
Sweet. Well, I'll just throw out one more question and we can do a little wrap up.
Sure.
What was one thing, let's take out the big speed bump that happened.
Sure.
But like one thing that once you got into golf business, like golf sim business, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Golf in general, that was kind of surprising to you. You're like, I love golf. I'm going to get into this. I want to do that. And then once you got into it, you're like, whoa, I did not see that coming, or whatever it is.
I think so. Statistically right now, golf is the number one growing sport in the entire world. It's like 11% year over year currently.
That's crazy.
So
it's been like that for a while. It's
been consistent now. Yeah, for like 2 or 3 years back to back now. So I think when I first got into it, I feel as though I got into it like kind of early on in that stage when it first started to like pick up and grow. Very happy I did. And now like if I go out to a restaurant somewhere, if I just go out to a bar or whatever I'm doing, you'll see people with like the hats and like the certain shirts, like what that's from. It's like it's insane the amount of people who are into golf at this point, where it's like I feel like I can go up to almost any random group of strangers and have a full-fledged conversation about anything golf related because they're almost in the same world, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's honestly been the biggest surprise for me is like how fast it's actually grown, especially in terms of like YouTube golf and like how much stuff there is to talk about when it comes to that.
I do feel like in the last couple of years there's been a huge focus, and it could be economy driven, it could be people's priorities have changed over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
But there's a big push on just like getting back outside, the amount of just outdoor activities or
toes in the grass.
People are, so I'm big into just being out in the woods, hiking, running and stuff. Like just the amount of hikers and campers even in the last 5 or 7 years. I used to be able to hike around my house. I live out near Michaud State Forest out near Shippensburg, but like
gotcha.
10 years ago, I could spend a whole day out there and maybe see 1 or 2 people, maybe.
Yeah.
Now there's just, if it's nice out, like
that's awesome.
There's gonna be a ton of people hiking.
Yeah, it's good because I feel like this generation like coming up is so like screen time focused and like they're just not like I have a bunch of younger siblings. I'm the oldest of 5, and just watching how they grew up versus how I grew up is a completely different world. Like
I think it's gonna change though.
It's
a whole different podcast.
What you're saying is good news. Like I hope it does change for the better.
I have a feeling. I don't think the screen time will go down, but I do have a feeling you'll start to see a younger generation
going outside
begin to rejecting some things with like technology that's coming.
That's good.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
May 28th, 2026. That was my the day I made that statement. But I just have a feeling some of it will not stick. Yeah. Like, and you'll see people revert back to, because like people thrive on being outside. It's good for you, and they thrive connection. Like golf's a great sport because you're connecting with people and you're outside.
And like you talk to like any age range too. Like I ended up playing with 2 guys today. I think the one dude was like 50 and the other was like 60 years old. Yeah. And we still have just as much in common to talk about when it comes to that kind of
stuff. At heart, they're young guys.
At heart they are. And they play
all
like
outside
it too.
Playing.
They're doing pretty good. Right?
Yeah. Hey, sometimes old guys will whoop up on you too.
Oh, sometimes they will.
So you got to watch it.
No, I totally do.
But no, hey, I do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
We're going to share all your links to your social, your website, everything on the show notes.
Yeah.
And then anything else that you wanted to, put up there, we can make sure we put in the show notes. So if people are, when they're ready to start booking, people are ready to find you, they can find you in there.
All right.
But yeah, no,
thank you very much.
I appreciate it. It's a heck of a story. Sounds like you're back on the right path though. And
totally.
It's fun. And it'll make
everything gets skewed every now and then, but you live and you learn. And it's just another life.
Well, it'll make it a little sweeter too when you reopen.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
And not everything can be just rainbows, right?
Well, you have to let us know when we're open too, because you're right there.
So I'll let you guys know. I'll stop on by, be like, hey.
Joe is really good at golf too.
Is he?
So
all right, Joe. No,
he's giving you a thumbs down.
He's like, no, I'm not.
No, but we can come out for fun. It'd be good.
Totally. Yeah, we can all have a fun time. All right. Well, thank you for having me. This was awesome. I mean, I miss being in the podcast space. Like I said, it's probably been a year since I held my other one, so it feels very comfortable for me.
Well, when you're open, if you want to come back on and give an update, like by all means, be our guest.
I'm down. Maybe we'll let it rock for a couple months as we're open, and then come back and give you a little update from there.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Skyler.
Thank you very much. That was fun.
Thanks for watching. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the Lead Lamp podcast, or you need some help with some digital marketing services, make sure you give us a shout.